Hello, welcome to Running Unchained, the channel. I'm your host, and we're gonna be talking Invincible. It's back, baby. Season two, part two has returned, and episode five of this season has started, and it's struck a whole nother level of where this series can go and where these characters can go. But I'm not going solo. I'm bringing forth my hermano Busy Braun. Busy, how you doing, bro?
What's up? What's up? I have so much excitement for this series. I mean, I feel like a little more hype needs to come out of this. I understand why it's died down a little bit, but after the way this episode ended, it's just reminded me why I love this show, and I'm truly looking forward to more.
I agree. Folks, just to give you a heads up right now that we will be talking spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode, go watch it, talk about it, let your folks and friends know that it's out, and then come join us. If you have seen it, hold on to your butts because we got a lot of stuff to say. And I I want to first say that to get that out of the way, I agree with you. I think that splitting the season in two parts might have killed off a little bit of the momentum of the excitement or the intrigue for the show. But I must admit that when those trailers were dropping, it sparked for that day or two. Oh yeah, Invincible. We're not done with it yet for this season. And again, just talking for this first step for this first episode of part two, episode five. I feel for me, where we left off last episode, episode four, in a weird way, it felt the wait worth it because we left off in moments like this, and so there's a time jump in the storyline. So it aligns for me that okay, there'll be some time between us and the characters and their distance with one another. So, do you feel it was worth the wait? Do you feel that sure it did maybe affected the momentum and the promotion and marketing for this part two. But in hindsight, as a story, was it worth it or no?
Story wise, I think I could have gone without it. I understand why they did it or why they're saying they did it, but at the end of the day, I feel like it did damage some of the hype. It damaged. I think the marketing was kind of all over the place. At the end of the day, when if the, like no matter how long it takes for me to wait, I'm gonna end up watching it either way. Like I love it, but 4 episodes, and after waiting 2 years, and then getting another 4 episodes after waiting a few months, it doesn't always seem too worth it, you know? I mean, I don't like to complain too much, but that's as far as I'm really gonna go. Like that, I feel like they could have dropped it all, and I think I still would have felt the heaviness of of everything. With the little, I feel like I did feel a little bit of the time jump, obviously, because waiting that long. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was we had to wait longer as viewers than the time jump was in the show. I could be wrong. Pretty sure it was only like 2 months, but we ended up waiting about like 3 months, something like that. Don't know if that's right, but I don't know. I think I could have lived without it for sure.
That's fair. Um, yeah, from what we got, I was okay with it, and I do think that market team should have lighted up at 11 and we just put it everywhere, billboards, Instagram ads, the whole shebang, to be like, we're back. Yes, we took a time, some time apart, but hopefully it was worth it. And I gotta admit, dude, from where we left off with moments like this, it hit home for me that like, okay, Mark feels the weight that his presence is a causality that as much as he helps, that comes the baggage of like how much damage does the aftermath do for you and what aftermath his father did to the planet that he had conquered, if you will. What's the orphan, if you will? I don't know. But the notion that now, okay, he has a brother, and his brother's mother is dying, and she wishes for him to take him back to Earth with him. That it's time for him to go back and live his life. I I was so it was so brutally to watch, and yet it hit home. Nothing felt odd, nothing felt out of place, and you just pitied or felt so much empathy for Mark and the conundrum that he was set at. I don't know how did you take it? Because for those who don't know as well, and again, this is selfish plugging, but whatever. I would argue the show would need it right now. But Busy and I did reactions on our own separate channels, so go check out Busy's channel for his reaction, and you can just see it on our faces. We're just like, "Fuck, man, what the hell?"
So it was one of those things that I knew it was gonna like. I mean, I was like, okay, obviously she's gonna end up asking. We knew about their lifespans. I kind of forgot about it when we started the show. Seeing the guy that got Mark in the first place, seeing how far he went in age, caught me off guard, and then seeing her, I'm like, wait, that's actually her. And so it was just bound to happen, just realistically. And but the main thing, like, yeah, I was worried about Mark. I felt bad for him, but I was just like the entire time I'm thinking about Debbie. I'm like, how is Debbie going to react to the fact that obviously Mark's not going to be the sole person taking care of this child? It's gonna fall onto someone else, and I'm just like, "How is Debbie going to feel taking care of the child of her murderous ex-husband who left and not even, like, a year later already knocked up some other chick or bug, whatever you wanna call her?" And, it was just, like, that was on the back of my head, and, I feel like seeing the way that Debbie handled everything, I mean, it just proves or just it just shows why Mark is the man he is, why he was able to stand his ground and defend Earth the way he did. It's because yeah, Omni-Man was there, but he had the correct guidance of his mother Debbie, and I truly enjoyed the little moments between her and Oliver, and yeah.
I I could not have said it better. Sandra Oh, what she does with Debbie. And remember, folks, what we went with her in part one was she was so much in denial. She had fallen into drinking a lot. She had to start going to a group to talk about stuff of how she felt betrayed and whatnot. I forget just being a character who happens to be a mom. She's one of the most human characters I've seen in television, film, and whatnot because she has again it's endurance, it's strength where you feel like all right, she how much more can she take and whatnot. And for the kids, man, like she puts up all that stuff for the kids. And I feel so bad when yeah, you bring up the Oliver, you bring up the kid, and she's like, what the fuck is this supposed to mean? What the hell? But not instantly, quickly, but she quickly be like, all right, I'll look after him. Because I think she even identifies that, like, okay, this is not his fault. He shouldn't be in the same conundrum as we're at, and does something that I don't know if a lot of people would or could have done in that situation. And at the same time that all this conundrum is happening, the Guardians of the Globe are also defending the world and protecting it and whatnot. I from where we started with that first episode of season one of the Guardians of the Globe to see where they've come now, it is such a rich team with different dynamics that, again, if they did a miniseries just on the Guardians of the Globe, I
Oh,
would
I would
tune
watch
in.
it for sure.
Oh, dude,
I mean, the fact that they did the special with Adam Eve, and I dug that episode. I feel like the
yeah.
possibilities with doing that, whether it's just on Immortals Past or the Guardians of the Globe as a whole, it would definitely be entertaining. And I feel like that's a really good way to kind of continue hype. Like if they were cooking up an episode like that during this 4 month wait, I feel like it would have worked. Just dropping one episode in like February or late January, I feel like would have still kind of kept us up a little bit. But I would definitely watch. I would definitely watch something like that. I think that to see that shot of them going up against the Timu Skeletor or whatever you want to call him, and
Yeah.
to see literally like there were so many characters in the back that I personally am not familiar with, and I feel like we haven't really seen them in the show. It's one of those things that I'm really excited to see more of the characters in this universe because we do realize that this is a hero's world. There are a lot of heroes, and it kind of reminds me of like the boys or Gen V. There's just so many other background characters that have unique powers, and I kind of want to check it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of potential there, and I wouldn't mind checking it out.
Yeah, it's it's weird because again we're brought back to okay, two different times the worlds or universe have needed help in separate occasions, and yet we still have downtime with the characters to talk about just stuff they're going through. Um, Before we go into here, yes, I would echo that the Adam Eve special is one of the best episodes of this show. I would argue it's as good as the finale of season one, as the penultimate episode of season one. It rivals any of the best episodes of this show, and the fact that we got it almost in a film format, I dug, and it has a killer track, and I came to love Eve more as a character. I want her to be okay, so I highly recommend folks if you haven't seen that yet, give it a
Oh,
go.
it's a must. It's a
It's a
must.
must. Yeah,
And then we even have that little small callback to it when she's looking at her photo,
yeah,
and it's
bro.
like to really feel the heaviness of that scene. It's a must to see that, to see that episode. And we've a lot of people say what you will about him. I enjoy her character. I don't think I've heard much negativity about her. But
Same.
if I know there's some people that probably don't have any really feelings towards her, and you want a reason to like her, I feel like the episode is kind of a solid way to kind of get to like the character. Because I cared for Adam Eve, I thought she was cool and all, but this episode really made me kind of feel her on an emotional level. And again, just that little snippet of her looking at that framed picture just really kind of sucked the emotions out of me due to the fact how heavy that first episode was.
Yeah, what I would say is that not just even Eve, I would say Rex, dude. Rex, what they do with this guy, he is so annoying, so funny as hell, and this first episode brought so much humanity in him that I mean, again, this is the guy who was cheating on people in the team twice or three
Mhm.
times, and they had his comments up where like, okay, now Kate and the Immortal are getting it on. So the fact that he's been knocked down and his personality is still there, but there's a slight of growth goes a long way in my opinion.
Yep.
I truly dug what they did with Rex and Jason Mantzoukas, I believe is the actor's name.
Yep.
He is killing it. He is.
Yeah, he's great, man. His voice is so like noticeable, like you can hear it from the other room. I don't know how to say it. Like it's identifiable, if that's the right word.
There's a
Um
moment, folks, where Rudy and Monster Girl are having issues with like their friendship and how he's being very controlling. And she says, "If you're this controlling after one date, it's not gonna be a second one." And he just goes, "Oh no, prom date went bad," and it's like you dick. And at the same time, this is the
nah,
funniest shit ever.
in the entirety of this series, Rex Blood has just been a massive dick, and to see some development in this episode was just really cool. But I want to give a shout out to the voice actor, of course, because I loved him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He was great as Pimento.
Yeah,
Um, and even in Percy Jackson, I mean, he was fun in that. Wasn't anything crazy, but this guy would just be popping up here and there, and to
and he's
have
a
him,
geek.
yeah, to have him here in Invincible as Rexplode, a character who is just a main character. It's really cool to just be familiar with the actor and to just see him probably having a blast with this role. I mean,
Yeah,
it's Rexplode must. I honestly would love to play a character like Rexplode, to be able to have no filter, to be able to say what you want without consequence due to the fact that that's the character you're playing. It must be so much fun in that booth, for sure.
yeah. Speaking of character, what Amber and Mark are going through. Oh man, I want to say this clear. I didn't hate her character, but some of her statements or choices, I was like, okay, well that's a perspective, but I'm like,
Mm,
I don't agree with that at all. And the way you went about it, I don't agree with it at all. And so again, we're not going fuck the character and all that. I love Zazie Beats.
yeah.
Um, I it was funny. It was fun to while I was editing, just going through our faces and our emotions when there was a scene between Amber and Mark. And there's so many times that we were so much the homeboys to a fictional character and be like, keep a lookout, bro. Keep a So I just wanted to give a shout that even though we might have different sides of points of views with Amber, I like that we spent more time with him, and you kind of feeling like, okay, how long can this go? Is this a lifestyle choice that maybe she and him want to go forward? Debbie and Nolan made it work for a while, but at the end, that motherfucker lied to her face and broke
Mhm.
her heart. So I don't know how this is going. And remember, this is in their pivotal moments of their lives, besides high school, college years, where they're trying to find who they are and whatnot. That is extremely relatable to me and where I'm at in my life. So when I see this, I'm like, phew. As much as I want superpowers, kind of thank God I'm dodging a bullet because I'm like, I don't imagine that's like having two, three jobs at the same time and whatnot. It's just like it's too much. But yeah, you liking the perspective dynamics that we're going with Amber and
Yeah.
with Mark
Yeah,
and
I
whatnot?
think, everything she's feeling is justified. To be able to kind of see them taking kind of notes or just kind of even mentioning stuff with, you gotta compare it to what Omni-Man and Debbie went through, you know?
Yeah,
And, I understand her kind of questioning everything now. Before, in season 1, there was something she was questioning that I couldn't really get behind, wasn't a huge fan of it, but everything she's saying in this season is, it's yeah, I mean, in this part, it's fair, everything she's right to be worried, they're right to have issues. I don't know how much they'll be able to go through this. I think it's better to just call it, but
we'll
I don't
see.
know, man.
We shall see where it goes. Um, we're not skipping over Mark's brother. We're not. It's just that I feel that's a good discussion for the upcoming episodes because there's more to that stuff around, and there's more stuff going onwards in the world that I think it's worth checking out. So don't get angry. We will talk about Mark's brother. I like that Mark took him under his wing, vouched for him, and now Debbie is doing as well, and that's why she's an MVP in my opinion of this show. So we will talk about them again. We'll go back to them in the coming weeks, and yeah, folks, just hold on to your butts because there's a lot going down about that. But the squids are back, bro. The squids are back. The Martians. We got to go back to Mars. We got to go back to space because stuff is happening, and dynamic with Cecil and Donald. I again, it's so weird. There's a lot of stuff that's going down, and I'm thankful that the episode has a length it has, and yet it felt smooth. Nothing felt out of place. The fact that we got moments with Donald being like, "What the fuck is going on with me?"
Mhm.
and Cecil being like, "Well,
Dude, dude, I wanna put this out there. Ever since we first got Donald, I always saw him as a Phil Coulson character,
mm-hmm,
with the entirety of him being the second-hand man, but him being able to hold his own, being brave. I loved everything about him. This episode made me compare him to Coulson so much more. I don't know if you've seen Agents of Shield, but
parts of it."
yeah. So like, of course, after what happened to him in Avengers, where he ends up, getting killed by Loki, he ends up coming back in Agents of Shield. They ended up doing stuff to him to bring him back,
Yeah,
and he starts getting bits and pieces of it. And he's just like, what happened to me? What did you do to me? What is going on with me?" And it's everything just reminds me of Coulson, man. And
yeah.
it was really funny to see the comparisons because I saw it beforehand, but like it's just hard not to see it now. And it was fun.
Yeah, when this dude lets out his thoughts, oh boy, does he have the attention of the audience and of Cecil. And yeah, man, the white room clearance, that stuff was just like, whoa, man. There's like, and it's very much the Nick Fury syndrome where it's like there's secrets within secrets.
Mhm.
Um, and
And there's so
again,
much more to that, man. It's
yeah,
like, bro, it's ridiculous. It truly is. And I don't know how much they're kind of sticking with the comics and all, but it's just really cool as a new fan and someone who's not really familiar with what they did in the comics, like to see them kind of doing something as massive as what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Even with the side characters, they're cooking. They're cooking up some storylines with characters that they don't really need to cook up storylines with. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
right.
really cool to see that with.
Yeah. Um, and so we got to deal with these folks and the squids that are their neighbors in their planet. We got to go back to space, and we get again a team up between Mark and Adam Eve joining the rest of the Guardians of the Globe. I I liked that the distrust between the immortal and Mark still is going. Bless you. Um,
My mic was off, right?
yeah, you're good. You're
Oh,
good. Don't
thank
worry
you.
about it. If you sneeze on the mic, don't worry about it. That is a natural thing. But I love that it's like, all right, now there's this big thing you have to deal with. How are you going to deal with it? And they go about it. Rudy has robot going in there and gets the seismic sound to blast it and whatnot. Um, Eve a lot of times comes through with holding the everybody when the ship blows up, when they're holding back the squids and whatnot. I I love that it was a beautiful orchestra. It was like, all right, you deal with this, you deal with that, you deal with that. I love the game plan between the teams and how Rex and Duplicate and I believe Shrink Ray stayed on Earth, and now we're dealing with the Lizard League that are escaping and whatnot. And
Yeah,
unfortunately, I already put on the reaction. I don't want to risk it again on the channel, but I can't show you images of what happens in that scene because it is literally
it's brutal.
it
It's
is
brutal.
fucking brutal, man.
Yeah.
It is bids blowing up. It is
Mhm,
body horror. It is
mhm.
stuff being torn up. But yeah, man. R.I.P. Duplicate.
Yep.
I could not believe that shit would go down. Shrink Ray, I believe. Please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing the name. Going out the wazoo on a person's eyeball and then being eaten. That is just bizarre. And then how Rex is dealing with like this isn't happening, and get his arm eaten up and blows
Oh
the
my
guy's nose.
god, yeah.
It is so appalling yet engaging. I'm
And,
like, I can't stop watching.
and to see these characters, at this point, and to see Rex, specifically right after we had this first little hint of development, it's an interesting choice for sure.
And this mania is just going around, what's gonna happen? And then cut to black. End of the episode. And a lot of people are coming like, what the fuck? All
Dude,
that waiting for that?
that episode felt like 20 minutes when I first watched it for the first time. It went by so fast. So when we saw the credits, I'm just like,
You gotta
no,
be kidding me.
no. But after the credits, we get a really, really cool, little after scene.
And what this is what I want to give an example. This is a great example. I for anybody who doesn't know, I've read the first big ass compendium book. I
Compendium.
first read it already. So I couldn't wait. It was to me it was too good to leave, so I went out and bought it. And if you want to read the books, I highly recommend you start off with this big one, this big compendium
Mhm.
one.
I have the first
Um,
two, yeah.
so I knew what was coming, but I had forgotten it because it had been a while since I read it. But next thing you know, you just hear, "What the hell is going on?" You see an eyeball open up, and Sam was the first one to caught it. Our friend Sam from Team GVS was like, "He's alive! No, my God!" And we all flipped the f out. And Alan the alien has returned.
And immediately, both me and Sam were like, "This dude looks a little bigger than usual, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And Seth Rogen, man, I mean, I'm so happy he's doing this, dude. When I first heard that he was doing this character, I was questioning it, but he has proved time and time again that he's one of us.
Yeah, dude. Especially with the news that now he's doing the 8 million comic book adaptation and whatnot. Like, oh yeah, he's a true geek. The fact that this is a guy who
Nah,
made brought TMNT Mutant Mayhem in animation as a movie this past year. Um, the boys, Preacher. I just love
I'm
that
so
he's a
impressed with
geek.
what he's done. Nah, yeah, he's been great. And although I feel like we've seen him take a step back from some of these movies or iconic movies that he's usually involved with, I'm really liking the stuff that he's involved with now. He's I don't know. It's been great, and I'm super impressed.
And bro, Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime, going and revealing like, yo, it's not what you think it was. I did that.
Whoa, that was Peter Cullen,
Yeah, the what are they called now? Damn it. Oh
not the
my
Vulture,
gosh.
right?
The Voltramite. I am the first Voltramite.
Really?
Optimus Prime.
Holy crap! I didn't know that was him. What?
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
that's so
Yeah.
cool.
The
What?
fact that it's a big twist that I was like, wait a minute, is he a bad guy? Is this really happening one day?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on with them, bro. But the fact that like as soon as he ripped off his beard, I'm like, what is this lunatic doing? Like, and then he's
Hmm.
like, I am the first to rebel. I'm like, yo, this is cool. And you immediately, you're like, Omni-Man, we need to find Omni-Man. Like he
Yeah.
needs to know this. And I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be fun for sure.
I literally jumped. I was like, I cannot believe they're doing this because again, it felt odd hearing Peter Cullen's voice and be like the bad guy, or forgive me, Alan. But then you see him tear, like you said, tear the beard off, and then whoosh, and it's just like, nah, there's more to it, whatnot. And now it's just like, all right, we gotta find Mark, we gotta find Nolan, we gotta get the books that Nolan told Mark, be like, go find the books, that I wrote down because I can't say, but you gotta look into it, folks, because you got to stay tuned and watch this show. Um, I we had the stupidest grin on our faces when this episode ended, man. I dug this episode so fucking much. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I don't know if I missed anything else. Surely the comments might tell us or whatnot, and we'll probably bring it up next time. But yeah, man. Overall, how are you feeling, man? Like, was it a happy time, or whatnot, or you're like, all right,
No, I'm happy with it. I mean, again, the weight kind of threw me off a little bit, but to be
yeah,
able to I think watching it with a group of friends was always great.
yeah,
But I don't know, man. I think that we're just gonna have to trust that the next 3 episodes are gonna be bops, and from that point, we're just gonna have to hope that the wait is gonna be worth it. As for this episode, do I think it was worth waiting 4 months? It's it's hard. It's gonna be extremely opinion based. But do I think that the entirety of part two was worth it? We'll have to wait and see for sure. But yeah, I'm happy with what we got for sure.
yeah. And I'm glad that they're not dropping it all at once. Because if that
No,
would have happened, it would have lit up the weekend, and that would have been it. I
no,
feel that the
yeah,
next 4 weeks, they're
they
gonna
can't
have
do that.
to,
The spoilers would have been insane.
yeah.
Everything. It just you can't do that. No.
The next 4 weeks are going to be fascinating because not only are they sharing it with right now what I think is the best show on TV, Shogun, which we have coverage on both our channels. Um, there's another animated series coming around the bend that has a whole lot of meaning to a lot of folks from our generation, and so it's going to be very interesting to see this share the time with that show as well. Um, but yeah, and I know some folks have had some issues with the new animation version, which is slightly updated. To an extent, I get it. I think I kind of still prefer season one a little bit, but it doesn't take away that okay, like for example, Alan is buff now. The fact that like he said, okay, you should be able to handle Viltrumite now. Um, doesn't take away anything from the music and from the talent that they have behind this, both behind the mic and in front of the mic in my opinion. And Steven Yeun, Academy Award winner, Steven Yeun. I am just happy for him. Just happy that again, and I think this is fair to say that you're the bigger Walking Dead fan than I am. And Glenn and Mark, for me, I love that we have that split side. I have the same thing with other people where it's like, Patrick Stewart, he's Jean-Luc Picard. No, he's Professor X, or Ian McKellen, he's Magneto. No,
You
he's
got
Gandalf.
the Mandalorian and Joel Miller.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
you at least.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I fucking love the show. I love the show. This episode was great, and I just want more people to watch it. Go watch it. It is that good. And from what they've been teasing in the trailers, there's a whole lot shit more going down. But yeah, busy. Thanks, brother, for joining me and talking
Of
about
course, of
this.
course.
Tell the folks where people can find you.
Find me at Busy Braun everywhere, Busy Reactions on Instagram, and we're gonna be uploading some reactions. Episode 4 of The Walking Dead might not be coming, unfortunately, due to the fact that I think I lost the footage, but we're gonna be on top of that for the next time. Hopefully. But yeah, subscribe, like, do what you can, help your way out, and yeah, for sure.
Beautiful. We'll see. We got a lot of stuff cooking out, folks. We have a lot of stuff cooking out between Busy Eye and our own separate channels and with other collaborations, if you will. Yeah, that's gonna wrap up for this episode. wish it could be longer, but we got stuff to work on. But make no mistake that the coverage for this show is going to be happening on a weekly basis. And if people dug what we did with this live stream, we might bring it back for every other week. So because I feel that uh, even though we have done reviews before, we had to be very hush hush about it, and for rightfully reasons. We're like, we don't want stuff spoiled for folks, but now it's like, okay, the episode's out. If you have seen it, you have a choice now to geek out with other geeks about spoilery stuff and what's to come. And yeah, like I've always said, if you want to go in blind, go for it. If not, go read the comic book. Go read the comic book. It is that good. It, in my opinion, rivals anything that DC Marvel have been doing. It rivals anything that may or may not be coming. So yeah, hold on tight and stick with the show, folks. Stick with it. I'm your host, Ronan Unchained. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.